Are you somebody that likes suburban conveniences, but also likes a little bit of space to yourself? You know, a home on acreage, or at least a neighborhood with a big lot? Well, then Brighton is probably going to be a great choice for you. In this video, we're going to cover everything that makes Brighton a great option, but we're also going to cover some of the pitfalls that might turn off a few people. And so if you stick around, we'll give you everything you need to know about whether or not moving to Brighton is for you. One of the things that makes Brighton great is that you have your modern conveniences, but you have a lot of different home options. So quite a few condo options, single family homes in neighborhoods, but you can also find homes on a lake. You can find a more rural setting if you like a little bit of property, like to back up to wetlands or woods, have a little space to yourself. And so a lot of diverse homes, but also the convenience of local shopping, a nice downtown area, things of that nature. So if you know me, you know that I love a nice downtown area, and Brighton is one of those places that we like to come and hang out. It's got plenty of restaurant options, which I'm a big eater, right? So anything from Italian to Mexican to barbecue to street tacos to your typical just grill, if you will, American style food. And beyond that though, it's actually got a lot of great shops and little niche stores that you can't really find in your typical malls. And so it's a cool place to hang out. They also do a great job of putting events on. So, you know, this month they have a ladies' night where ladies can come out, get a little bit of their Christmas shopping done, and enjoy some of the bars and restaurants and special sales and special prices, right? So special promotions, if you will, for the ladies. So that's always cool. But it's not the only option in Brighton. So when we talk about Brighton, I actually include some of the other townships and stuff that have Brighton mailing. So for instance, Green Oak Township, Hamburg Township, Genoa Township, Brighton Township even is separate than the city of Brighton. And all of those places offer unique things. Green Oak, for instance, has the Green Oak Village Place Mall. I actually have an office in that particular mall, but it's got Home Goods, TJ Maxx, there's an X Golf, a Buffalo Wild Wings, Dick's Sporting Goods, you name it. So a lot of options in terms of shopping there. And you also have Brighton Town Square, which is another place where you can get your Marshalls, your Best Buys, your Targets, your Home Depots, things like that. And so definitely plenty of shopping nearby. So even if you do find yourself in a more rural home setting, you will definitely not lack in some of the things that you take for granted every day. In addition to having the modern amenities that shopping and dining offers, Brighton's also a great place for activities, right? Kids activities, adult activities, what have you. It's actually got two huge athletic associations for the kids. For hockey, they have Kensington Valley Hockey Association, which is actually one of the largest in the country. And newer, you have the Legacy Center. So Legacy is a huge athletic facility. It's got soccer fields, it's got baseball diamonds, it's got basketball courts, volleyball courts, you name it. Two huge organizations where, you know, it makes it very easy for adults and kids to get into sports, whether it's rec or competitive. Outside of that is you're super close to Island Lake State Park, Kensington Metro Park, plenty of golf. And so just a lot of options in terms of being able to get out and about, stay active, stay healthy, and enjoy yourself. One of the big draws here for not just the people that live in Brighton, but also a lot of the neighboring communities is Mount Brighton. So a fully functional operational ski hill, the area schools, their ski clubs will take them to Mount Brighton. They have annual passes. It's all around just a great place to enjoy that particular sport if skiing or snowboarding is what you're into. Obviously, no good community or desirable community is complete without a good school district. Brighton certainly hits the mark here. Greatschools.org actually ranks Brighton a 10 out of 10. So a lot of people even school of choice their kids into Brighton schools because they're so solid. And frankly, you know, they're top of the state in a lot of different athletics. They have plenty of clubs and extra interest programs. So, you know, any of your APs, your dramas, your science, your whatever your kids might be interested in, Brighton's got a program to fill it. Now, location-wise, Brighton's in a good spot. You're pretty centrally located to a lot of the major metropolitan areas. For instance, you're about 40 minutes from Detroit, you're about 20 to 30 minutes from Ann Arbor, 45 minutes to an hour to Lansing and another 45 minutes to Flint. Likewise, you know, you have two particular airport options, which I always find appealing. You can fly out of Flint Bishop, which is, like I mentioned, going to be that 45 minute drive, or Detroit Metro, which is also going to be about 45 minute drive. The downside really is that if you're commuting to any of these major metropolitan areas, it's not going to be really ideal for you, right? 45 minutes to Detroit every day doesn't maybe sound terrible, but honestly, rush hour traffic to this area is pretty brutal. And so you'll be looking at adding 20-30 minutes to your commute, both in the morning and in the evening, if you're driving to the office every day. So tolerable if you don't have the daily commute required, right? So if you're able to work from home a few days, or if you're at different job sites or what have you, then it could work out for you just fine. All right, so some of the other cons of Brighton that we need to discuss, right, is, you know, I mentioned the downtown and how amazing that is. That's gonna be the only walkable area, and there's not too much public transportation to speak of. So if you live right downtown or close enough to downtown, you know, you've got coffee shops, you got restaurants, you got stores, you're good to go. The rest of Brighton is pretty spread out geographically, and you're gonna need your own car. Right? So if you're coming from an area where, you know, you like the idea of, you know, easy walks to here or there, then you need to be in the downtown area. Otherwise, you know, it's going to be a little bit of a stretch. The other thing too is that about 50% of the area relies on well and septic. Now, depending on where you're coming from within the country or within Metro Detroit, you might be used to well and septic and not think of that as a big deal. But most of Metro Detroit is pretty used to public water and public sewer. And so that might be a little bit of a change for people that aren't used to it. Now, really, there's nothing to be afraid of with well and septic. It's just a little bit of education, a little bit of maintenance. And so you just need to take those steps, really know what you're dealing with, and save accordingly, because things do eventually fail over time. So the last thing that I'll mention is that, you know, cost of living compared to the rest of Metro Detroit is going to be a little bit higher than your average. Certainly still plenty of affordable options. You can find a house in here anywhere from the 200,000 range to your 2 million plus, right? So a wide variety. It just might not be exactly what you're looking for, right? And then property taxes within Brighton, a little bit higher than the norm, but there's, like I mentioned, several townships that make up Brighton Mailing and Brighton Schools, and certainly the townships provide a little bit more of a break in terms of property taxes. Well, we hope that you found this video informative and entertaining, and hopefully it helped you. And if it did, will you drop us a like and make sure that you subscribe to our channel? We're putting out content like this about different communities and all the things that Michigan has to offer on a pretty regular basis. And if you're somebody that's considering Brighton as a potential moving location, or maybe some of the surrounding communities that you'd like to know more about, my team and I would be happy to help. Just give us a ring and we'll be happy to give you the up-to-date information on inventory, pricing, different aspects of what each community has to offer based on what your needs are. We'll see you on the next one.